The Constitution protects a range of civil rights, liberties, and privileges for each American. These civil liberties ensure that all citizens are treated equally under the law. Gaining and holding these rights hasn't always been easy, however. For example, after the Civil War ended in 1865, Congress passed the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. Although these laws abolished slavery and gave blacks rights as citizens, many people in the United States opposed the measures. As a result, state and local governments passed laws to restrict the rights of blacks, making it almost impossible for them to vote. Landmark Supreme Court cases, such as Plessy v. Ferguson, allowed discriminatory practices to continue. The court decided that Jim Crow laws segregating blacks and whites in all areas of society were legal. Maintaining separate but equal facilities for blacks and whites, the court argued, still protected the civil rights of all Americans. With this decision, the court refused to acknowledge that schools and other facilities for black citizens would be inherently unequal. In 1954, Brown v. Board of Education overturned Plessy, finding that the idea of separate but equal was unconstitutional. This ruling led to the mandate that all public facilities, including schools, must be integrated. The court's decision gave great momentum to the fight for civil rights. In the 1950s and the 1960s, citizens throughout the nation, both black and white, joined the civil rights movement, challenging a system in which inequality was the status quo. It took nearly 100 years and the efforts of millions of people, including leaders such as Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks, and groups like the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, to make a difference. With the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the rights of all African Americans were protected under the law. The success of the African American civil rights movement showed how the U.S. democratic system could adapt in response to a population that demanded change. The civil rights movement also inspired other groups, including women, Latinos, American Indians, and more recently, gays and lesbians, to push for greater equality. These American movements illustrate a universal truth: the belief that equality and freedom should be the foundations of society, government, and even life itself.